Some of the most important provisions in any software contract are a software warranty and a software maintenance and support provision. But what's the difference between the two and why should you care? My name is Marcus Harris. I'm a software and technology attorney. For the last 20 years, I've devoted my practice to drafting and negotiating software-related agreements and litigating failed software projects in courts across the country. If you have a software warranty, do you need software maintenance and support? Well, I think they're different, and I think the answer is generally going to be yes. So a software warranty is limited in scope, and a software warranty is almost always a warranty of time, and it is a warranty of reference. And what I mean by that is that the warranty is going to have some sort of temporal restriction, and it's going to generally run from the delivery of that software. And I think that can be problematic because depending on the definition of delivery, you may not be able to make a warranty claim if, for example, you get the software downloaded on day one, you sign the agreement, the software company delivers the software, but they don't implement it for 2 years. And if you've got a 6-month warranty, which is probably a long warranty, you're not going to be able to utilize that warranty at all. So I think, with respect to a software warranty, you want to make sure that you have an understanding of when that software warranty runs and make sure that it lasts for as long as you need it to, so that you can actually utilize it if you need to. I said that a software warranty is a warranty of time and a warranty of reference. And what that means is that the warranty is going to point to something external from that contract. And what we will usually see is a reference that the software will substantially comply with generally accepted industry standards, for example, or depending on the nature of the product, whether it's software service or software license. It will alternatively, and really probably more usually, it's going to reference software documentation or user manuals. So whatever it's referencing, you want to make sure that you have reviewed that, you know what it says, and that it actually reads on any kind of a warranty obligation. Because what you don't want to have is a scenario where you make a timely warranty claim, the software has an issue, but the documentation or the user manual doesn't speak to that issue that is identified or that you have identified with the software. And so the software vendor is going to point at the documentation and say, well, that's not a warranted issue and you're out of luck. So the software warranty is going to be finite and defined, and I think you have to understand that concept when you're trying to utilize that warranty. One of the main benefits of having a software warranty is not necessarily the warranty itself, though that's critically important. It's really the remedies associated with a breach of that warranty. And what we will usually see in the contracts that we negotiate and what we put in these agreements is an obligation on that vendor, if the warranty is timely made and if the warranty has been breached by the vendor, that the vendor has an obligation to reperform, repair, or replace, or provide a refund of the fees paid for that component of the software that is in breach of the warranty. And so why that is important is because you've got an obligation for the software to conform to a certain standard, and then if it does not conform to that standard, you have an express contractual obligation on the part of the vendor to do something about it, and if they can't, they give you your money back. So that's why a warranty is critical and why it is important to have in your software agreement. So how does that interplay with software maintenance and support? And I think the reality is that they're incredibly different. I think there's some overlap in the contracts that we have negotiated or the negotiations that we've been involved in. We will sometimes have a vendor make an argument that they do not provide a warranty because you're obligated to purchase software maintenance or support. And that doesn't really follow. That's not a very good argument. And the reason for that is that when you're purchasing software maintenance, for example, you're getting releases, you're getting upgrades, you're getting updates to the software. And so those are going to be pushed towards your instance. And if there's a new functionality that's being distributed to the customer base, you're going to get that. You're going to get these slight modifications to the software. That's what you're paying for. You're not actually paying via the maintenance obligation. You're not paying for the vendor to necessarily fix something. Now, to the extent that you're getting support, you're purchasing support from the vendor, I think there's maybe a little bit better of an argument that is a little bit more similar to a warranty, but I don't think there's a one-to-one equivalency. the obligation on the vendor's part is going to be to provide you with some sort of support services to get you up and running on the software. But it's not something that's going to be done contractually at no cost. It's going to be done on an hourly rate and being charged to you on a time and materials basis, most likely. So it's very much something that you're going to pay for. So I think when you're negotiating these contracts, you want to make sure you understand the difference. And if you have a vendor that's telling you that one is not necessary because you have the other, I think you take that with a grain of salt. If you have any questions about any of the issues we've discussed in this video, feel free to reach out to us at taftlaw.com. We'd love to talk to you and love to point you in the right direction.